Hundreds of artists not only lost their homes in the Los Angeles area fires, but also their livelihoods and their bodies of work. The Getty is leading an initiative to help them get back on their feet, and it has raised millions of dollars from donors around the world. Joan Weinstein is the director of the Getty Foundation, and Eileen Seaton and Katie Rediger are a design and fabrication team called the Buddy System. Thank you to all three of you for being here with us this morning.
Pleasure to be here.
And Katie, I want to start with you. You lost not only your home, your family home, also your studio, your art studio, and your children lost their schools. So you really, had everything fall apart when these fires came through. How has it been on this road to recovery?
Well, I mean, at first you just don't know what to do. Your whole reality has been, ripped apart. All the possibilities that you had planned for yourself are gone. And so it's just a period of really being in the wilderness. And then little by little support starts to come in. And if you're a part of a community, like an arts community, there is support. Like there was really robust support for us. So, it started with just individual friends cooking us food, giving us a place to stay. And then it sort of ballooned into this incredible, this initiative that we've been able to take part in. And so it felt really hopeless at first, and then you really realize how important your community and the people in your community are, because that's your true safety when everything else falls apart.
And we mentioned the initiative. Joan, can you tell me what the Getty is doing and how it's helping artists like these two?
We realized when the fires broke out that it was going to have a huge impact on the artistic community. In Altadena in particular, it's really known as an artist community. And we started to hear from colleagues on the East Coast and in other parts of the country, what can we do to help? And we realized that we could stand up a fund and that we could try to support not just individual artists, but also arts workers, people that work in the arts industry and were losing their homes.
And you've received donations from all over the world. Explain why it's important to help these artists here in our community so they stay in our community.
So I think everyone recognizes that Los Angeles is really a unique place. It is one of the premier artistic centers in the world. And I think that was why there was so much of an outpouring of support from people everywhere. And the real worry is when people are displaced and it's so hard to rebuild and it's so hard to build your life again that you might be tempted to leave. And this was a signal to the artistic community of how much they're cared for, how much they're admired for the work they do and how vital they are to the healthy democratic society.
And Eileen, can you tell me about what it has been like to lose your business? I know you guys were in the process of moving into this studio. Explain how that has been.
Yeah, I mean, at first, when the fires happened, we had just finished a pretty good fall of work and we're catching ourselves into the holiday season and getting ready to kind of come together for the beginning of the new year. And the studio was almost done. Our kids shared a school that they were going to, and it was sort of like everything was feeling quite settled, And so the end and the beginning all at once kind of happened. So we hadn't really had time to assess in the beginning of 2025. And it just felt like, we had to prioritize. We had to refocus on our families, and that was the most important thing. So we were sort of like estranged from our own work on our projects that we were expecting to get started on and, work on together. And it just felt like, let's just wait, let's stop, for a second. And really, like, the grant that we got was the first moment in all of that where we're like, oh, I think we can do this again, because for a moment it just felt like, oh, we're two moms, we're starting a business.
How could we possibly?
It just felt like, oh, okay, maybe it's not for us. So that's this, just to add to the whole like stay in LA, like we really felt like maybe it isn't something that we can do. So it sort of felt like, oh, I guess we can still, and that felt really, hopeful and
I mean, it really
empowering.
did. This has been such a dream of both of ours. It's hard to be an artist. It's also the best job in the world. and to get everything, all the possibilities ripped away, and then to get a start after that.
Yeah.
It's like, it really is our dream given back to us, and that just feels
like a little
incredible.
boost.
Yeah. Well, it's wonderful to hear that you guys are going to stay and you're going to get back into a studio once you can rebuild, and the money that the Getty is made possible is really wonderful. So thank you to the three of you for joining us here this morning.